Alright, well, I don't know if the audio is gonna be weird, but I'm supposed to be talking anyways. So, Diablo 4 beta was this weekend, the open beta at least, and I want to give my thoughts on it. Because I played at least a little bit, pretty decent chunk of it. And obviously none of these guys are like level 25 or anything, but I still enjoyed my time playing it, so I want to talk about it some. I'll probably run around as my rogue and playing it. But I'll give you these, at least with these three classes that I've played. Druid felt really fun. It didn't really feel it didn't really feel underpowered or anything. Druid actually felt like fairly strong. I like, at least when I played Shapeshifter Druid, my friend actually played Mage Druid and said it was really strong. Shapeshifter Druids felt really pretty strong, even though it's a melee class. But it's like really sustainable and at least was pretty interesting of a time for me. But this is the class I actually thought I would end up maining when I played the game, but after experimenting and playing it, I don't think I actually will be playing this. Necromancer felt absolutely fucking insane. I didn't actually play Sork, so I don't know how that plays, but my friend did, and it seemed kind of crazy. Um, the corpse I played off Corpse Explosion that pretty much solely carried. Um, so it was kind of nuts. But the one I actually had a whole lot of fun with, even though I feel like wasn't that great, probably because I was playing it wrong from what I've heard, but like was Rogue. I found Rogue to be quite entertaining to play, especially because I was messing around with the idea of playing off of a build where I just set down traps, and like playing off poisons. I actually find it pretty fun. Um, but the gameplay is much like a normal Diablo game. I didn't really find anything to be quite wild. Um, it felt more gritty and dark. And compared to Diablo 3, which I've played more recently. Um, after playing Diablo 3, the graphics are obviously more vibrant and more uh like, not like this game. Like Diablo 3's graphics were much more vibrant, and there was a lot more like we obviously haven't got to this point, but there was like a fuck ton of enemies on screen at all times, and like it was just constant explosions and just constant big numbers. Got to the point where it's kind of like it just getting kind of annoying. This one, the highest number I've heard is like 600, but obviously I know you can hit way higher than that. Just haven't got there. Um, but mm, I will say, that I had a whole lot of fun with this beta, and I'm actually quite excited for the full game. Um, the skill tree is interesting. It's not even like I mean I don't really know why we're doing all this like diagonal thing, but it's fine I guess. Um, but reading some of the skills seems like they could be kind of fun to mess around with. Um, and obviously unlocking these like special augments for the skills is always kind of insane. Um, at least altering your gameplay at least a little bit. Um, but I don't know. Most of the skill trees seem at least pretty fun. And the idea of like a build is definitely there, especially since after level 15 it costs money to refund. Um, but I didn't really like a look at these. Like these for the rogue, I didn't really get too much into because I don't even know that you can get to this. But I know you can get to this. Um, but at least with these skills, I always thought they were pretty cool, pretty interesting. With the rogues, I can go really in depth. Um, the marksman rogue, at least for me when I was starting out, like I played it for a few levels, felt fucking insane. Rapid fire, I think it's rapid fire. Is it rapid fire or is it barrage? Oh no, yeah, it's barrage. Barrage felt fucking nuts. Um, because you're just constantly bouncing arrows at a certain point. because it's on your right click, so it's your what is this, your core skill. So you end up just bouncing arrows the entire time, which is kind of crazy. I don't remember which one of these I even used. I've always used Invigorating Strike because it's just free energy regeneration. So I just always used it. I don't know. This one's probably pretty good, especially since what I'm doing, you know, I could run through them and place my traps to them, but like I just end up using Invigorating Strike. It just lets me always have my primary resources available. Flurry is, at least in my opinion, seems so much better than Twisting Blades. Now you can make an argument where Twisting Blades becomes significantly better with combo points, but also whenever you have dash or anything, like any way to like quickly get around the enemies without, like, you could argue maybe like you would run Twisting Blades with like blade shift so you can run through enemies, but like it just felt a little weird for it to be on a core ability because you right click a lot and then the blades come back to you. But like, I don't know, it just was a little weird using it. I actually found that I like Flurry a whole lot more, which applies vulnerable. Especially since I'm using traps. This is actually ends up being better, but Flurry just felt better to me to use in general. And you can actually get it where it's an AoE around you, which felt really, really nice to use. So Shadow Step. So these ones I can speak on all three of these pretty comfortably. Shadow Step definitely feels like it's probably more damage if you're gonna do single target, maybe. Yeah. Even though like technically you can argue this is more than this, but I'll get into that. You get 2 dashes, and you only get 1 Shadow Step. But Shadow Step felt better to use in certain scenarios and worse in group scenarios, whereas dash felt really good in groups. I didn't really like look too much into it because I used this and didn't really like it. And immediately went back to using dash because I found it to be more useful. When I was using this. And then around this area is when I realized that I want to play Trap Rogue. Which is why Caltrops are selected. So I actually use the Caltrops. They actually pull your bow out, but I actually don't even use the bow at all in this build. It's purely traps and daggers. So basically, I throw these little things on the ground. You get 2 charges of this. You throw them on the ground, and it slows enemies, and it does damage. And so they'll take more damage, the longer they're in the Caltrops. And so I combo that, and it has chill, which chill can freeze enemies. Which is pretty nice. But the big thing, like I said, the big thing is they take more damage and they get slowed in them. And a lot of times what I'll do is I'll combo that with my poison trap. And so basically what this does is I just place like a trap. It looks like it's very obvious when you place it. I'll show you some gameplay, of course. It's very obvious when you place it, and then I'll place this and then set off my Caltrops, and then they'll be in the poison and slowed while taking increased damage and being knocked down, so they're in there for longer. And then I have the imbuements. Now I don't remember exactly why I have all of these unlocked. I think it's because I have a piece of like a legendary I have on. But the one I mainly use is Poison and Shadow. These are the only 2 that I find that are fucking insane. Shadow is really good for groups, and Poison just seems better for damage over time, especially since my build is more poison based, trap and poison based. This one ends up being better for me, but it's just because I can increase the duration and I'm just constantly doing more damage with 2 enemies that are poisoned. And I'm doing increased poison damage flat out with Deadly Venom. So poison actually ends up being better for my build, but Shadow is better for groups. It definitely is noticeable. But the one that I'm really interested in is this one right here, Death Trap. Like, so these are your ultimate abilities, and obviously there's, Rain of Arrows and Shadow Clone. But I find that I think that Death Trap sounds a lot better, where it's just a giant fuck off explosion, and then it'll pull enemies in. So I'm definitely intrigued by Death Trap, and it'll probably play into my build a lot more. Now these passives seem kind of insane, by the way. I don't know if you've if you've played a little bit, you should definitely look at this passives. Like, this is just increased critical. For me, at least, when I'm imbued, I get it's gonna go to 15% critical strike chance. This is like increased damage to vulnerable enemies, healthy and injured enemies. If they're above 80% or below 35%. Dodging and stuff. Like, this is just like all like, these are all insane. Like right here, like daggers do increased damage to healthy enemies. So like stuff like that, just like really unique passives. I'm not gonna go too in depth because I'm just like, I'm just kind of explaining what I was doing. The specializations, at least for Rogue, I mean, I didn't really think they were that crazy. Maybe that's just me. I thought Inner Sight seems kind of cool, but it feels kind of weird to use, because it's only like one marked enemy. And so I didn't really, feel like I really got the benefit of Inner Sight a whole lot. I like combo points just because it's easy to do. So it's literally just like, at least for me, it was pretty simple. You literally just like set it up by just left clicking an enemy and then right clicking an enemy. Pretty straightforward. Preparation, I hope, is for traps, because that'd be pretty interesting. But we'll have to see on that one. The character sheet is just like that. There's someone's sockets, like this chess piece has a socket. All the legendaries are actually really interesting now, because of this guy over here. Lets you modify your legendaries. So you can literally put this in, and like you can pick your aspect and stuff. But obviously, like right now, I don't really have anything that he could probably do it to. But you can like pick your aspect and stuff, and it's pretty interesting. Because for example, where is it? I could like pick this, and I could pick a piece of equipment for it to go on. So for example, say I wanted it on like this ring, I could do that. And it would turn into a legendary ring, and I had to pay the gold, and that's the thing, and then it'll get this effect on it. So flurry will. So I just do this. Now my ring is legendary, and basically what it does is it has its stats, and then it has my imprinted thing on it that flurry will do a circle around me instead of a like a cone in front of me and deal 8% more damage, which actually ends up being better. But that's like something you can do. You can extract legendary essences there, and like transfer the powers, I believe, onto new items. Obviously there's upgrading potions. I don't remember if this really mattered in Diablo 3. I think you just kind of did it as you went. But in here you have to do it. So you go here, and you can see here that you level. As you level up, you're gonna have to level up your potions up to level 90, and you have to bring her things for them. You can craft elixirs. I didn't really like craft any of these, but like, I'm assuming they're like, obviously they're gonna be buffs and stuff. So yeah, I didn't like I said, I didn't really like go too in depth with the potions. I just mostly played the game. I also didn't really upgrade, but that'll be to me, that was always more important at the end game of Diablo 3 rather than the beginning. What we can do is we can go do this dungeon up here, because I didn't do it, and so that'll be like the end of the video when I go into this dungeon. But yeah, like I said, I had a whole lot of fun playing the beta. I obviously didn't like grind it like crazy. Like I know a lot of people did. I know a lot of people got several characters max level. I didn't even attempt to play Barb because of what I heard what I heard about Barb from the last beta, from the open, not sorry, the private beta, like the closed beta. Um, I didn't even attempt to play Barb. I also really wasn't that interested in Barb, to be honest. Um, so that might just be me though. Like I said, there might not be audio. I literally couldn't get it to pick up the audio, but like I said, I'm mostly just gonna do talking anyways. Um, but yeah, you do these dungeons and like those little aspects things that you saw me put on my equipment. You get those from this. So like you can get legendaries and extract their essences, I think, and then put them on other legendaries or like yeah, I think they can put them on other legendaries. But the way aspects works is you can take the aspect you get from a dungeon like this and then put it on a like a yellow piece of equipment and turn it into a legendary, like a rare, and turn it into a legendary. Um which opens up a lot of diversity at least. Um um yeah, there's actually a legendary that I had that was significantly better for this build that kind of just got phased out because it didn't fit anymore. And basically what it did is every time I'd use it in a like a certain ability, it would increase my next ability. And it got to a point where it was like every time I used my caltrops, it would increase my poison trap damage, and every time I used my poison trap, it increased my caltrop damage. It's kind of cool. It worked. It made the flow of this build really well, but it's fine. Um, um, as you can see, like it's not my build's not crazy. Like I'm not gonna clear this out like super fast. Um, but I'm just like I'm chilling. I just wanted to try a build. It didn't, like I said, I don't think it. Obviously, it's not like I've seen some builds for Rogue that are going crazy. Um, and I just wanted to try something unique. So here we are. Um, there's not like a whole lot of variety in this beta at least that I've experienced, but in the full game, I think there will be. I will say, at least in my opinion, I hope the leveling in the full game is increased. Sometimes I feel like it is really slow in this. Um, there was like me and my friends played for like 7 hours the other day, and only got to like level 20, which isn't bad, but like that's a long time. I feel like. Um, so that's just me though. Um, I just think that's wild. The fuck? I'm in the wall. That was weird. But yeah, I feel like you level up like way too slow, which would be fine if it wasn't noticeably faster when you're on classes that are like really OP. A conduit shrine. That was crazy. They did like almost nothing. That's kind of depressing. Artillery shrine. Okay. Oh, I didn't see his chest. I might not even put that on, only because I don't know. Um, I will say I am probably gonna lose frames. You guys have probably seen it happen. I don't know if that's like just a me thing, cause sometimes I like the other day I wasn't losing any frames, and then sometimes I like suddenly start or I start lagging or something. I'm not sure even anymore. Cause I'll have times where I'm like fighting like giant packs of enemies and nothing's happening, and I'll have times where I'm fighting like two enemies and I'm losing for FPS. It's really confusing. Um, but yeah. Uh, like I said, if you guys don't know, basically from what I've concluded and how it seems, at least in my opinion, I know a lot of people say, I've heard my friends say Sork is better. I stand by this. I think the Necromancer is probably the best class in the game. It's so easy to play. You literally just you can have 5 skeletons up. You can blow up bodies around the map. You can spawn in the corpses like in Diablo 3 if you need them. It's just so strong that at this point I firmly believe that the Necro is the best class in the game entirely. Um, but that is obviously up for debate because he says Sork is because there's just the damage and the clear of Sork. But that to me is, I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, I think that Necro is best. It's got survivability and damage. Yeah, I'm not gonna kill this boss like crazy quick like a lot of other classes may, but I'm gonna do it. I'll just sit here and chill, whittle it down with poison and shit. Ooh, get out of that. Okay, whatever. Well, he's just sitting in the poison, so that's fine. This is on World Tour 2, by the way. Yeah, there you go. And now I have Night Howler's aspect. I could take that if I was that's for Druid. So, but if I could take that, go to the main town, and transform a rare into a legendary. But yeah, like I said, I just wasn't trying to go too in depth. I just want to talk to you guys about the beta, like my experiences, and like I said, it was pretty good. It was a whole lot of fun, and I'm really excited to see what the game is like when it fully comes out. I'm excited. I think it's gonna be pretty fun. My biggest fear though is that I feel like it may take a little too long to level, but maybe they'll smooth that out. And yeah, I don't know. I'm just intrigued. Yeah, guys, thank you guys for watching, and you guys have a nice day, and I'll see you guys next week. See you, everyone.